The pink book is ready, I am ready, are you ready? Well, I hope so, because the video has already got underway. Welcome to the West Ham Transfer Rumour Show, and we're going to begin with some news. He's been announced. Fernandez is officially a West Ham United player, and he can play against Nottingham Forest on Sunday as well. This is fantastic news. However, even though I'm running the risk of the negativity police rocking up in the comments saying, "Excuse me, sir, negative, negative, negative," there's something missing for me. I'm missing that spark, that buzz of a new signing, the announcement. Usually it gets me excited. Usually I'm buzzing with it, but I'm missing it today. And I think it comes down to head versus heart, because quite often your feelings and thoughts are not always in sync. It's completely different things. So my head says this is a brilliant signing. Hopefully it works out under Potter because he's the current West Ham manager. Hopefully it completely transforms West Ham under Graham Potter, and that he makes an immediate impact. But regardless, I think long term, this is a fantastic signing for West Ham. I think he's a brilliant player. I really like him. I think he's different to what we've got. I think he's different to every player that we've got. Yes, you can compare elements of his game to certain individuals, but in terms of just what Fernandez is in regards to a complete player profile, we don't have that type of player at West Ham currently. So I'm a big fan of it. Young as well. This is ticking a lot of the boxes for me. Also head, I think we've overpaid a bit. 38 million plus 3 million plus 15% sell-on clause. Now I'm hoping that sell-on clause is the profit side of things rather than the overall transfer fee side of things if and when we sell him. That will come out later on. But regardless, I feel like we paid a bit more money than we should for him, but we're desperate. We are absolutely desperate. The transfer window closed on Monday. The board club have no choice other than put their hand in their pocket and pay what they have to get good players in that can make a big difference. Whether it's under Potter or not, Fernandez will make a good difference. So I'm pleased with the player. I think he's a great signing. We need players like him at this club. There's no doubt about it. But my heart, I don't know, I'm just missing something. Is it because I was a big fan of the Hermansen signing? That's turned out not to be great so far, but I'm sticking by that one. I think he'll come good at West Ham. I think he'll be a good goalkeeper for us. Is it because of everything that's going on? Is it because of my lack of faith of us turning this around in terms of as a club? I don't know. I think it's probably because of that. I think it's just because it's a bit miserable at the minute. And maybe if we'd beaten Wolves, I think maybe I'd feel a little bit different today. Maybe that excitement would be there. So I'm just lacking that spark at the minute, if you know what I mean. Hopefully I'm not the only one in that boat. Anyway, where is Masa? Because Masa, we believe, did his medical before Fernandez. Well, the first medical he did, because apparently there was a technical error with the first one. But there's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, about certain clubs coming in. Now, the journalists reporting this that aren't West Ham are quite confident this is happening or has happened and he will become a West Ham player. But I don't think it's, wild to expect him to have been announced before Fernandez or at the same time as Fernandez. Hopefully he gets announced today, but I'm a bit suspicious, right? I can't be the only one that's thinking, this Masa one feels a little bit funny. Are we going in for Timber, and actually the Timber one could happen, and therefore maybe we're the one putting Masa on the back burner? Because we all assume it's Magasa's side of things that's slowing it down. It could be the West Ham side of things. Remember, we tried this with Said Benrahma. We got him in, had a medical, and I think Sullivan wasn't too sure about the signing, and it was, there's an issue with his medical. Let's change this, and we ended up changing it into a loan deal. Remember, we were going to be buying him. Then there was an issue with his medical, and then we changed it into a loan. I can't remember if it was with an option or an obligation, but we certainly, at the 11th hour, decided to try and change the transfer deal with Brentford for Said Benrahma. So don't be surprised if it comes out that we're now trying to loan Masa instead of buying him. But that's just because we've done it before. Anyway, we'll see. I'm waiting. I'm suspicious. Where's Masa? That's what I'm asking. Right, before we get into the other transfer rumours, if you're new to Hammers Chat, please do subscribe. Getting close to 46,000. It's the most rubbish milestone you could ever reach, but it's a nice thing to hit. So please do subscribe, and also drop a like on the videos while I clicking thumbs up. If we get 1,000 likes, that'd be great. Busy day on this channel today. So you got this video today, right now, transfer rumours. Got a fan cam later on from someone that's never been on the channel before. It's a good fan cam. I encourage you to watch it if you don't mind. And then later on this evening, we've got a video with someone who may have something to do with a protest coming up at West Ham United. So I'm looking forward to recording that one and getting it up as well. So we've got a hat-trick, 3 videos today on Hammers Chat. Right then, in terms of Timber, apparently we're still interested. Even if we get Masa and Fernandez, we still want Timber of Feyenoord. Still don't know anything about him. Well, I can see that he's injury prone, and that this is what I believe. I believe he's from reading everything and hearing everything, fantastic footballer, fragile. When fit, excellent, but bit injury prone. If it wasn't for that, he'd be a top player. So the only thing preventing him from sort of being another level, if you like, is that injury record that he has. But apparently we're interested. I would be happy if we got him 3 midfielders. That would make me very, very happy. In regards to Timber, though, can't say I've ever seen him play. John Victor, Botafogo has rejected our loan. They want more than the 6 million. We're proposing we loan him with a 6 million option, which would turn into an obligation if he plays a certain amount of games during the season. Botafogo are saying no, more than 6 million. I honestly, as we discussed on the podcast the other day, if Botafogo don't deal with us again, just tell us to do one after what went on with John the first time round, would not blame them at all. So this one feels unlikely, and I'd imagine it's down to how we dealt with them previously and sort of changed our mind at the last minute and went with Hermansen. However, there's another goalkeeper we've been linked to, and that's the Hull City keeper, Ivor Pader, the Croatian goalkeeper. We're being linked to him. So it does feel like we're still in the market for a goalie, which makes you think, well, is Areola the one that's off ski? We know historically he's not always taken well to having been dropped. I think this Sunday might be telling who is Graham Potter going to pick, because if he puts Hermansen back in, Potter's nailing his colours to his mast and saying, this is my number 1 goalkeeper. But off the back of the 2 performances so far, even as a Hermansen fan, I will concede he possibly deserves or needs to be taken out to starting 11 and Areola goes back in for the league game. We'll wait and see what Potter does on Sunday. But if it's Hermansen back in, if you're Areola, you might as well try and get out the club in the next 24 hours. And we've been offered Boniface, the Bayer Leverkusen striker. We've been linked to him for like years now, haven't we? We're 2-3 years anyway. It feels like we've been linked to him. He was due to join AC Milan, issues with his medical, unsurprising. And as a result, apparently his agent is offering Boniface to West Ham. Now, whether or not we make a move for him, that's not really been revealed, just that he's been offered to us. But there are some paper talk now. Jacob Steinberg is leading this one, saying that we do want a striker and that we're expected to go for a striker once these midfield acquisitions have gone through. So that's Fernandez done. Hopefully Magasa gets done. And then it sounds like we're on to a striker. Now that would, sorry, I've just realised I'm glowing. Let me try and sort that. No, it's because of the sun. How can I sit to get that shine off my foot? I can't. Just going to have to put up with a shiny Geo. Like a rare Pokemon card. Like a Club Crest Panini sticker from 1998. Nice and shiny. Buzzing when you got them, weren't it? When you opened up your stickers and there was a shiny sticker. That was the ultimate as a kid, weren't it? Nothing worse than me and my brother both got a pack of stickers and I'd open mine up and it was just duplicates and he had a shiny. Even if you had a duplicate shiny, you were all right with that. I don't care. It's shiny. Look at that. Isn't it interesting? Kids, just a shiny sticker. Happy. Life was good back then. Life was simple. Anyway, where am I? I completely lost track. Striker. Apparently we're going to have to striker. That's good. That's reassuring. I hope it's true. I still think once these midfielders are sorted, centre-back and striker, I wouldn't mind an attacking midfielder / winger as well, but that's being greedy. I can acknowledge that. Centre-back, striker. 2 more, please, West Ham, after midfielders, plural. So we've got Fernandez, great. At least 1 more. Striker, centre-back. Cross my fingers. One of that strikers could be someone apparently we've bid for now. Apologies if I butcher his pronunciation as always. Faculino de Ju. It's only got 3 letters, Gio. D-J-U. My brain says I don't like that. De Ju. 21-year-old striker. Apparently we've had a €50 million bid rejected. We've been linked to him before. We were linked to him at the very, very start of the window as well. So this transfer target or transfer rumour at least is not going away. So it'll be interesting to see if he is our man, certainly on the younger side of things. Even though I was always have never heard of him, I have, only at the start of the window. Before this transfer window, never heard of him, can't tell you a thing about him. So if you tune in for knowledge, for an opinion on the players we're being linked to, you're at the wrong channel. But if you're tuning in for a pink book and the latest transfer rumours, you're in the right place. We can talk about shiny stickers again as well if you want. I don't mind. I've been debating. Now and again, do you know when the new season comes along and you see the sticker book in the shop? How many of you get it? I reckon there's quite a lot of you get it. Not for your kids, for you. You might give it to the kid and say it's for you, but actually you take over and start doing it yourself. But even as a grown man, when I see it, there's a bit of me that says, go on, go get it. But I think it's the price of stickers now has put me off. I don't know how much they are, but imagine they're not cheap. And that terrifies me. So I think if I got the book, my brain would make me complete it. And I think I'd get so far and I would just cheat. I would just go on like eBay and look for all the stickers I've not got and just buy them. And to save me spending an obscene amount of money on multiple packets of stickers. But you know what I mean? It feels like a bad spend of money. But there's a temptation. I reckon there's some of you out there that still do the stickers. Let me know in the comments below. And is it still as magical as it was as a kid? I hope it is. I hope it gives you that little bit of happiness. When you tear the packet, that rip of the packet, I hope you still get that feeling, that burst of excitement. Might go buy a sticker book this weekend. Anyway, we'll see. Right, Lucas Paqueta. All right, I'm concerned about this one. So we'll start spending money. That's good. I and many other people in the comments over the last 24 hours are sat here, a bit like Matt Letizia, that meme of Letizia going, a bit like that. Where's the money coming from then? Because it's difficult to trust them all of a sudden, isn't it? They've gone from having no money to suddenly we're away to start spending. I appreciate there's an overdraft. I appreciate there's a loan. I know that we have or will be selling half the women's team, 49% of it, to an American company, which is good business by West Ham. About time we started doing some stuff like that. But I'm not the only one. I know that. There's loads of you. We're saying, does this mean Paqueta's on his way out? Now, the in the nose, the journalists at West Ham are claiming there's a 50-50 chance of Paqueta staying or going. Oh, come on. I can't be the only one that's seen it and thought, well, you're right there. You say 50-50, 100% chance you're going to be right. There's also 100% that you're wrong, but focus on the one I got right and not the ones I got wrong and all that, right? But they're claiming it's 50-50 that Paqueta stays or goes. Now, Spurs are out of it because they're signing Xavi. Incredible signing, isn't it? But Spurs ain't going to get him then. But Aston Villa are the latest club to have been linked to him. Newcastle were. I've still seen a few Newcastle fans saying they'd still like him, but Villa are the club being linked to him at the minute. Now, when I seen it, I thought, okay, they haven't really spent money. They got to get sand in, but that's about it. But it is connected to a transfer rumour I don't believe. So I don't believe Villa want him because the report said that if Villa have to sell Morgan Rogers, they're going to move for Lucas Paqueta. I thought, well, they ain't selling Rogers, so it's fine then. We don't need to worry about it. I am a little bit concerned that the club are going to be gagging. They've been gagging to sell Paqueta and Kudus for months and months. Before the season was not even halfway through, it was getting put out there that those two wanted out. They were likely to be sold and stuff like that. So I reckon if Sullivan had his way, he'd cash in on Paqueta. I hope not. I hope he's still here. I like him. A player that could be leaving, Nayef Aguerd, another player we were trying to sell. No one came in, so we've made him part of the plans. But in the last couple of days, it's really sort of ramped up again. Sunderland and Marseille, that's the two clubs heavily linked to Aguerd at the minute. Now, with Sunderland, Sealt, who started against us, went off injured, is being linked with a move, I want to say to the Netherlands, maybe the Bundesliga. He's been linked to a move away anyway. So if that happens, they're going to need a centre-back. That's still the sort of third-choice fit centre-back at the minute. Sunderland were linked to Aguerd for quite a bit in the summer as well. So maybe there is something in this. And he's also strongly linked to Marseille, which if you'd imagine there was a dream move for Aguerd, it's to go to one of the big clubs in France. So it would make sense a little bit. Now, I'm still open to selling him. I don't think he's had the worst start to the season. I don't think he's had a great start to the season. I think he's just been meh. And therefore, the sort of needle of my opinion gauge on Aguerd hasn't moved at all, which is I think he's just going to struggle in the Premier League. I think he's a good centre-back, just not suited to the Premier League. That's still my opinion of him. So if a good offer came in for him, 20 million is what I would consider a good offer, then I'd be okay to see him go, especially if it meant we brought in someone more suited to this league. Obviously, Charlie Creswell. If you said to me today, would you swap Aguerd for Creswell? My answer would be yes. Okay, so that's why I'm open to selling him. Hopefully, we mean we bring in a centre-back that is actually half decent in the air. We need a bit of an old-school defender, I think, in that back three. We don't have one at the minute. I think Mavropanos is our player most like that, but he's also the player that Potter doesn't really like. I think he's been the best centre-back under Potter. Doesn't really make sense, but another couple of players that could be leaving. Andy Irving, no club being linked to him. It was Celtic and then it was Wrexham, but it's still expected that he will leave because of the midfielders coming in, as well as Rodriguez. He's still being tipped with a move back to Spain, although this one looks like it's likely to be a free transfer, despite a West Ham journalist / in the know saying that it would be a £6.5 million fee, which I don't think anyone believed except him. So we'll see on those two. But it's always been the case that those two are likely to go if we bring players in. Fernandez is done. Magasa, we believe, is on the verge of being done. So it would make sense that those players would leave the club. And that's about it for your West Ham transfer rumours. I'm sure there'll be plenty more over the next few days before the deadline closes. Deadline arrives and the window closes at 7 p.m. on Monday. I'm still hoping for one more, because Fernandez is done, right? So Magasa at the minute isn't. So I'm still hoping for one more midfielder, which could be Magasa, a striker and a centre-back. That's my minimum. Another midfielder and a winger on top of that would be boosty bonuses as far as I'm concerned. But I still think we need 3 more minimum for us to have, a good squad. And hopefully it will be sufficient for us to go on and have an okay season. Fingers crossed. But anyway, if you've made it to the end, thank you very much for putting up with my nonsense. Thank you for putting up with my shiny sticker talk. Hopefully some of you have got involved in the comments to let me know if you're sticker collectors. And please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammers Chat. Fan cam up later. And I'll catch up with you later on tonight. Probably about 6 p.m. or something. The video will go live this evening. And it's a video about the protest, the petition. I haven't checked for a couple of days, but it had well over 12,000 signatures. There's more being planned with Hammers United, and that's what tonight's video is all about, letting you know what's going on, why, and what the aim is. As I say, hopefully you enjoy it. I've not recorded it yet. I'm recording it later today, but I feel confident it'll be a good one. Hopefully you do enjoy it, and I'll see you then.